Alrighty, this is gonna be just a touch unpleasant, but yeah. Alrighty, just got this link around. Didn't bother muting my mic for this. Hope someone tunes in soon. Sorry about my voice if it sounds rough. Just got a text from my brother. I'm just replying to him real quick. It's alrighty, there we go. We are 2 minutes and 19 seconds into this stream because I can't text. Or at least I text like a granny. I already shared this to Facebook, didn't I? Darn. I'm sorry, I'm a mess today. So, yeah. No one's in chat yet. I'm just gonna tell everybody I'm live now. In case you can't tell by my voice, I'm pretty sick today. I'm not using face cam because I look pretty bad looking at myself in the mirror, and the camera is not gonna like that. But with an easier setup this time. Sorry, I've got to take some Advil. I should feel better soon. Like I said earlier, I'm on this antibiotic. It's called Cefdinir or something. It sounds kind of like something Thor would wield. But I'm just gonna take an Advil real quick so that my voice doesn't go out too much during this stream. And then we can get right to work. I have to say, without camera angles and lighting to consider, this is back to an easier position to use. So, enough about me. How's everybody else doing? I'm personally doing better. Hello, Fantasysaurus. How are you doing? Let me just switch over to my art so that we can get started. I also need to pull up the chat on my phone so I can respond in something closer to real time. Here go. Here's the to-do list. So yeah, I'm just tuning in on my phone. Then I'm going to mute it so that I can watch the chat and see what's going on. Ooh, bus schedule changes. Those don't sound fun. So here's the first one. At first I was just doing a previs for it, but it got a little out of hand, so now we have full line art to work with here. Did I not? I didn't merge this layer. Let me merge this layer. And this layer. And this layer. Okay, that should be better now. So at first I just did a previs because she's supposed to resemble Kairi a lot. But, so I ended up just tracing Kairi for her form, and then this is version 1.0, which looks really bad, and this is version 2.0, which should look less bad. So let's get started. Let me just full screen this too, since I'm watching the chat from my phone. But let's see, what even to talk about? Oh yeah, you guys know how I never see movies for some reason? I hope he likes this too. I ran it by him just to be sure, and he said that the line art was okay. The previous version was less okay. But, okay. Now this is being weird. I'll just go in with the pen and fix it in a little bit. I'm just trying to get as much colored in one pass as I can. Let's see. So, like I said, I never seem to get to see movies, but Redbox sent me a coupon today for a rent one, get one free, so I checked out My Little Pony the movie and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and I have a feeling that my brother might be tuned in, so if you're watching, dude, I got those two movies, because I thought that you were interested in them. I know you're interested in the one, but yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to watch them tonight. Should be fun. Wait, why do I ask what? I heard it's pretty funny. Let's see. Just got an email. It's nothing important. So, what else to talk about? Tell me what you think of it once you see it. I haven't seen it yet, because I checked it out, while I was picking up my prescription from Walmart. So I just kind of picked it up from the kiosk there. But I don't know if I've talked to too many of you. Oh, okay. That explains it. That your question was for the one I asked about not seeing any movies. But, So, yeah, I'm finally gonna see some movies tonight, hopefully. But yeah, I picked it up from the kiosk at Walmart while I was picking up my prescription. And, speaking of my prescription, there is a very high likelihood I'm gonna name one of my horses after it in Breath of the Wild whenever I start a Master Mode playthrough, which I intend to do because I'm really comfortable with Breath of the Wild's mechanics more than Kingdom Hearts. So I'm probably not going to be playing Kingdom Hearts too much while I'm still not feeling too good. That and my Switch is portable, so I can play it while I'm just lying in bed surrounded by... Well, I'm not even going to finish that sentence because it sounds bad, but... the point is, I don't have to be in the living room, ostensibly around people, to play Breath of the Wild, so that's probably why I'm gonna do the Master Mode playthrough later. But yeah, I'm definitely naming one of my horses after this. I don't know why medicines always have such cool sounding names. This one is called Zeftinir. Sounds like something out of Norse mythology. But I know you all have probably already heard the joke about how medications always seem to sound like fantasy names. Like, it is I, the wizard, Zoloft. But, anyway, I'm just going on a tangent. Like, I'm a total mess tonight, guys. But that's okay. So now we've all established again that I'm a total mess. How are you guys doing? Yeah, it does sound like a cousin to Sleipnir. Or, I don't know, maybe instead of a hammer, like Mjolnir, it could be an axe or something. But yeah, so I kind of did a bit of a double take when they told me the name of it. But you know, what can you do? It's the pharmaceutical industry. The best you can do is, I guess, be amused. I think I'm actually gonna reuse the same color I have for her hairband just to give it more contrast. Ooh, another trailer for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That should be cool. I kind of want to see it, or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in theaters, but not sure if I'm going to be able to. Though I am majoring in film, and I will be in MTSU this year and so forth. So maybe I'll get to see more movie theaters, or more movies in theaters through the college or something. That would be cool. I might actually stop being that one film major who's never seen a movie. That was actually kind of my reputation back in governor's school. I got this reputation for being that one weird kid who has never seen any of the ground, or like any of the foundational pieces in film history. And I got so much flack from my teachers about that. But you know, what can you do? So I tried to give this portion of the sword more of a feathery look than it has in the reference image, since the handle guard is supposed to be wings. And that's about all I can really comment on it. Yeah, I actually have orientation starting next month, and I still have to figure out how to log in and reserve my dorm, since I applied early enough that I can do that. Normally you don't get to choose the dorm if you apply too late or something. You just kind of, you know, beggars can't be choosers. But I'm early enough that I'm not begging, so I can choose. Well, ostensibly I'm not begging, but let me pull up the previs. I didn't save which gems were supposed to be in there, did I? I still think it's like a ruby, an emerald, and a sapphire or something. So yeah, I'm just gonna, ooh, maybe I should desaturate it just a little bit more, or not. Maybe I should just go for like a deeper blue. That looks okay. We are 15 minutes in, and I need to color in her eyes. I believe she has blue eyes, because what am I saying? Of course she has blue eyes. The sprite has blue eyes. So let's fill these in. And I am gonna come back to shade this later probably, but first I'm just gonna delete the prototype here and draw in some grass using a textured brush or something. I don't know why, but for some reason drawing with this brush reminds me of Mickey's Magic Artist. I don't know if anyone else had that program as a kid, but I was spoiled, so my grandparents got it for me and let me play with it on their computer. Anyway, let's give a nice blue sky here, and then we can move on to our next piece. Alright, thank you. I thought I remembered that correctly. This one, for the sake of keeping it looking kind of rugged, is not going to have a line art layer. I'm just going to jump right into coloring. That said, coloring may take a while. So, here's the piece it's based on. The anatomy is kind of questionable in some parts, especially this elbow. I could not find the original post of this piece anywhere online. I used reverse image search. It wouldn't let me search for earliest first. And then there actually is, if you look very closely, a watermark in the corner, which I may have cropped out for here. But there's a watermark in the corner I couldn't read. So if anybody knows who painted this originally, let me know and I will give them credit. Hi, I'm doing better. How are you? Again, it's good to see everybody here. I'm just going to clear up some of these layers. And actually I'm going to merge the sketch layers, which may or may not be a good idea, but we'll find out later. So for now, I'm just going to move my reference layers up here because I have lost all patience with the reference window, to be honest. And yeah, let's just jump into coloring this thing. The anatomy is probably not my most accurate. I'm actually really not proud of the anatomy in this piece, but that's what I get for tracing a different piece with really questionable anatomy. But you know, that's on me. I was really tired while I was looking at the other piece, and I just thought, that looks epic. So, in true rule of cool fashion, anatomy, who is she? Never heard of her. So, yeah, I'm just really quickly dashing in colors here. I'm probably even going to tweak them quite a bit later. But for now, let's see, I feel like everything is probably not sized correctly here. Like the keyblades just look wrong in their sizing to me. But, again, I'm not entirely sure how to fix it. Because I'm not sure if they look too big or too small. This one's probably big because the piece that it's based on was painted with kind of a fisheye lens effect. So of course everything's gonna be skewed as it gets away from the center of the screen. Oh, that is awesome! Writing is so hard. I'm glad you're making really good progress with your book. That is really cool. Oh, I didn't color his boot the right color. Oh well, I reuse colors between the shirt and the boot anyway. So I'll just throw that color in there and there. The original piece, in case anybody missed it, was Cloud versus Squall, which I thought, again, I've looked basically everywhere for the original piece, so I do feel bad about not being able to credit the original creator, because it's a solid piece, and I would very much like for the original creator of it to get the credit they deserve. But I mean, I guess there's a possibility it's more of an orphaned work, but I've seen it reposted a lot of places, which means that I have no idea. But I'll probably do a few more rounds of searching again tonight just to see if I can find anything. There we go. Let's make that invisible, and then we'll color in Josh here. Again, I can never figure out how to color blonde hair. Oh, that I have heard of that. It sounds really cool. Um, I have never really been much of a comic buyer though. Um, so while I'm sure it's really cool, I'm probably not going to be able to look into it too much. Um, but I can't wait to hear what other people think of it. I'm just gonna set this layer to multiply so that it's darker than the coloring. But yeah, I have heard that it's supposed to be a really big thing. Which is cool. I'm glad that Power Rangers is getting a little more mainstream now. I mean, not that it wasn't mainstream, but like, I guess you know what I mean. Mainstream and not just considered for kids. But I'm not sure if I've seen the summary video. Is that the one with, well, I imagine there are a few with Jason David Frank, so I can't just say that one. I forgot to draw in his gloves, so I'll add them in coloring here. Wait, his gloves aren't green, they're this color. Okay, for a second I thought I drew his thumb on the wrong side of his hand. I was about to be really embarrassed there. That's not really something you don't get right if you're older than like 15. You know, at the very latest. But, let's see. Here's the belt. Oh, cool. That sounds really neat. Where he reads comics and breaks the story down. That is definitely nice. Alright, time to color in his Keyblade here since I have the reference for it. I'm sorry if I'm breathy and going out of, I'm just sorry if I'm breathy and not making too much sense. Cool. It sounds like he does some pretty good work in making comics more accessible. I mean, is a great thing. People talk about accessibility like it's such a burden, but really it just widens the fan base. You know? Brings more money to the creators and gets you better stories sometimes. But, yeah, it sounds like he does a pretty good job. I'm blabbering again. Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink here. Okay, that's better. Again, I'm really sorry if I'm breathy and stuff. Um, I liked it for what it was. Um, it, uh, I feel like, it had a very formulaic plot, but, I mean, since when have Power Rangers plots not been formulaic? I mean, that's, if the plot isn't formulaic, is it really Power Rangers? But, it had a really formulaic plot. It's very much a thing that you watch, not to guess where the plot is going to go, but to watch the characters go through it. Um, if that makes sense. And if you can't get invested in the characters, you're just not gonna like the movie. I could. I personally thought Billy was just my favorite. Um, because, if you see the movie, you'll know why, but, Billy is, I don't know. I'm not even sure I know which movies are coming out this year. But, yeah, Billy Cranston is probably my favorite character in the movie. He is autistic, and as such, he is not comfortable with swearing, and he's very, he seems to present some very typical symptoms, but he's also not treated as just a list of symptoms. He's a character who expresses those symptoms, which was really refreshing to see on screen, because, like, he doesn't really particularly like to be touched or anything, so he doesn't quite get it when other characters hug him. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he's cold as a person. He very clearly does love his friends. He just expresses it a little bit differently. And just in general, he's not treated as comic relief. If anything, he's arguably the only reason the Rangers are even able to Ranger during the movie. So, but I can see where some people might have an issue with Trini, I think, is the yellow one. There are some drug references. I believe it's Zach, his mom has cancer in the movie, and he's always skipping school to take care of her. And so yeah, it's one of those movies where if you can't get into the characters, you're just not gonna get into the movie. And the other big flaw with it, now I felt like they were having fun with this, because I don't know, to me this was campy in a good way, but there is so much product placement, especially at the end with Krispy Kreme, and so if you don't like really in your face product placement, yeah, no. I personally am a Dunkin' Donuts stan myself. Not sponsored or anything, I just really like Dunkin' Donuts. But, so, yeah, if you don't like a whole lot of product placement, which I don't blame you, you're probably not going to like the last half hour of this movie. um, yeah, just the I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's literally a plot point. Which again is a thing that Billy of all people figures. Well, I can't really say Billy of all people, but Billy figures it out. Um, but after Billy figures it out, they never stop mentioning it. There we go. And I'm just going to use a hue filter on this. Did not want to bring the brightness up. You want to keep the brightness down. And then I'm going to take orange and use a linear gradient foreground. There we go. Filter, hue. There we go. And I have to color this in. Hold on. Did I even save this picture? There we go. I've got it. Thank you. But yeah, let's see. What movies are coming out this year? I don't even know. There we go. Alright, so now we can take this layer and I'm going to use the tone curve actually this time. And just bring this down. There we go. And then I'm thinking a nice saturated red-orange for some rim lighting here. I might not even set it to a blend mode if it looks good enough. I might actually just clip it. So yeah, this is pretty sketchy, but Oh, thank you for listing all those. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom looks interesting. If only because, you know, dinosaurs, what's not to love? uh, I am very transparent about what I go to the movies to see. Um, so, yeah, anything with dinosaurs I'm probably interested in. Uh, Whether it's good or not, that's another question, but, you know. Um, I keep thinking that maybe I should see Pacific Rim because every time I hear about it, it's just like the monsters are fighting the robots within like the first 10 minutes. So, let's see. Ant-Man and the Wasp might be interesting. Wreck-It Ralph 2 I kind of want to see. Um, and Solo, a Star Wars story I was interested in, and then I heard it kind of turned into a dumpster fire on the production end. So it's gonna take quite a bit um, to convince me to see it. Um, like reshoots is one thing, but like I heard they fired the directors in the middle of it and everything, and just um, when you swap directors mid project, um, unless you redo the whole thing from scratch, it's just not gonna turn out too well. Unless the directors are allowed to collaborate, but they're not generally allowed to collaborate when one of them has been fired. So let's see how this looks if we do an add layer here. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Though what I should probably do is reduce the opacity on the magenta coloring here, just to give the orange a little more room to stand out above the crowd. Here I am singing from a Goofy movie. But a Goofy movie was a good movie. That said, I don't want to see a live action Goofy movie. Nobody make that, please. So let's go back to normal, and I'll grab my orange color again and just make it a little bit stronger. Let's just add a little bit of texture on the fur here. There we go. This should be a bit better. Okay, while Divide looks cool, it totally clashes with the rest of the color scheme, so I'm just gonna go back to add. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave that at 100% for now. And since we've got 15 minutes left, I'm going to go here And then for my reference, I'm going to pull up, come on, this guy's icon and just pick a color and write their username. If I can type, and then I think this is no, that is not a good font. Well, it is, but not for my purposes. That's a good one. Let's do view, comic guidelines settings. And yeah, that makes it pretty easy to center. T-O-S-H-L-A-N. So the H should be about centered on that line. Yep, that looks about centered. So I'm just going to save and call this done. Because YouTube banners are, I mean, as long as you've got them centered and stuff, they're easy enough to do. So now I can open up the picture of this OC, and her name is Luna, and I'm guessing she's some kind of a lion, I guess, a lion girl. But that is about all I know about her, and I'm just gonna go with a kind of a warm, dark, saturated brownish color for the line art. And I'm just not gonna use that one. I'm just gonna use my pen, as I always do. So let's see what a 10 looks like. 10's good. So let's draw this bow here. And then she's got the white tail tip. Let's see, am I just not getting anything in the top chat on mobile? I'm not sure. It's okay though. Because I'm still, assuming my phone is right, y'all should be almost exactly a minute behind me, which is good, because that's about the time it takes to broadcast stuff. So she's got this bracelet thing, and then her shirt looks something like this, and I'll probably use a new layer for her hair just to get it right. Oh, it's okay. I get that. Alright, so there's her shirt. I'm not really sure what's on it, so in coloring I'm just going to add like a paint splat shape. And see, not really putting too much detail into these fingers, just making sure they get there. And from here I can draw her face, which I've drawn a bit, I don't know, I don't quite like it one eye smaller than the other, but that is fixable. So I'm just going to draw one eye that I like. And then I'm going to select it. And I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it. Layer, flip horizontally. And then I'm going to scooch it over here. And there we go. And there's her neck. And then I'm just going to add her ears on this layer too. And maybe the bow on the back of her head. There we go. So I'm going to go up a layer and just draw her hair while I'm here. I'm sorry for going silent on you guys. I just can't think of anything to say. Alright, so now to draw her skirt, she's got this little moon belt buckle. And then that's going to be resting on the ground. And then she's got this leg up. Let's see, her shoes look a little bit interesting. I'm not entirely sure how to draw them. Let's see, I got an email. Nothing important. And then probably spam on Instagram. It's an important milestone I've hit recently. I had a vanity gallery, or not a gallery, but a publication contact me about having my work featured in their magazine. But the thing about vanity publications is that you pay them. And it's not legally a scam, but functionally it is. Because legit galleries and publications pay you for your work. So, yeah, that tells me my art is at least at a high enough level that they think that I will be willing to pay to say that yes, I can get into a publication, which is a good mile marker, but also, you know, if a legit publication comes along and wants to pay me for my stuff, they'll pay me for my stuff. And until then, I'm just gonna keep trucking along. You know, not spending my money on vanity publications. some people don't regret going to them, or some people who have gone to them don't regret them, but I am too cheap to. I'm just too cheap to bother paying to get my work into one of them. If my work is eventually good enough to legitimately be featured in something, it will it will get featured in something. And I should probably consider contributing to fanzines or something when I can manage my time better. But until then, just be like, yeah, thanks for contacting me, but no thanks. Yeah, that's rough. And I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm glad that, you learned a lesson, but I'm sorry it had to be learned that way. I was lucky enough that I googled the publication and then I put scam ? After it. And they had a lot of positive reviews, but there were also a lot of people saying this is obviously a scam. But so in the end I just decided, well, you know what, if they're a vanity publisher, I'll just not. Other vanity publishers are really hard to catch on to sometimes. But, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. That is not fun at all. But, no, when I told my family that I had been contacted by a vanity publisher, I had to explain that it was not Vanity Fair magazine. And is nowhere near the caliber of Vanity Fair magazine, and if Vanity Fair magazine ever contacts me, there's a good chance I'll go for it. But that is a long way off in terms of anything resembling a career that I might have. Alright, there we go. I can now set my line art layer to multiply to see if that... No, it doesn't really fix anything. So I'm just going to dot in some highlights, and then I will call it a stream and post these, and I will be back later. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you again next time. And have a nice rest of your afternoon. Oh, I forgot to color in those stripes. Have a nice rest of your afternoon, and I will be back this evening. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.